gravaco caixa de silicone marcado. Interromper transmissao. Projetar mtila shia, previa, janela.
Beleza, galera, mais um vídeo aqui no canal hoje, trazendo para vocês uma parte especial do Fórmula 1 Manager, um evento especial que estiveram hoje durante a tarde. Eu não pude gravar na hora, mas tô gravando, estou dando isso aqui no dia seguinte, no dia 28, que é quinta-feira. Estou aqui na quinta-feira, tô gravando depois que saiu na quarta-feira o evento, e porque eu tô soltando hoje, quinta-feira, no YouTube. Por quê? Amanhã, sexta-feira, nós temos a bunduda da Eve no Stella Blade, a demo. Só que vou soltar amanhã o episódio que era para ter saído hoje do Final Fantasy Rebirth, e no sábado solto a demo da Eve, ok? No domingo eu solto a parte 2 desse evento aqui. Eu solto a parte 2 no domingo e a 1 também na segunda-feira. Aí terça-feira já soltamos a parte final do Final Fantasy Rebirth. Tem uma galera de comentar se querem ver no Fórmula 1 Manager. E aqui é sobre criação de time. Eu falo nesse evento aqui sobre a criação de time e entre outras coisas mais que a FROMTiER. Então, preparando para nós aqui a FROMTiER no nosso Fórmula 1 Manager 24. Então vamos acompanhar aqui essa transmissão. Como eu falei, depois de ter soltado o vídeo no YouTube. Então são 1 hora e pouco de live. Então vamos acompanhar aqui ao vivo na Twitch. Que estão vendo na Twitch, acompanhando no mesmo dia. E que estão acompanhando no YouTube, estão vendo no dia seguinte. Lembra do like, comentário e compartilhar o vídeo. Ajuda bastante o canal. Lembrando, seu like é um peixinho maroto. Tomando um pouquinho aqui depois de almoçar. Eu agora iria estar gravando meu médico agora mesmo, mas de gravar isso aqui primeiro porque eu soltar isso aqui antes possível na programação do YouTube. Então amanhã sai o episódio 18, Final Fantasy Rebirth. 19, mas já foi ligado. Só de 20. Vai demorar mais para no final de semana isso aí. Você está na segunda-feira o 20. Eu gravo o 20 falta um detalhe para arrumar. Falta 1 minuto. Deixa eu fazer assim para vocês. É uma delícia meu almoço hoje, dá macarrão com carninha. E também tem coisa muito legal aqui. Fique ligado. Esse evento eu não acompanhei na hora que saiu, mas eu fui vendo a notificação da FROMTiER e vou citar ele aqui para vocês no canal. Se eu não estou enganado, são 3 a 4 eventos. Então no terceiro. segundos. Eu não vou estar traduzindo, vou deixar a legenda brasileira no YouTube. Vou deixar a legenda para vocês. Tem nada de carros eu entendo. Mesmo que eu consigo me montar a tempo. Senão ia sair uma coisa feia, mano.
Hello everyone and welcome to Frontier Unlocked. I'm Arthur, one of the team here at Frontier, and I'll be your host for Frontier Unlocked going forwards as the wonderful Holly Bennett has moved on to pastures new. And while we miss her terribly, Holly, we still love you to bits and we wish you all the best for the very future. For the future? The very bright future, I'm sure. Right, but that's not to say we don't still have a feature-packed show for you coming up. But before I get into what's going to happen, I should probably say hello to a few people in chat. Now, I'll say hello, everyone. I do have chat on the screen on the right-hand side here. So I see a lot of 07s. I see a lot of Zookeepers. I see a lot of our Coaster family, our F1 family in here. So hello to you all from all around the globe. Thank you very much for joining in. I will try. Oh, there's lots of people coming in here. One thing I do want to say, I did have a little chuckle at someone said Happy Rubber Nuke Day. For those that know, we are going to be talking about Power Play a bit later on. Rubber Nuke, the day has come around.
Valeu,
we are
Marquito.
talking about Power Play.
Chegando aqui.
I've been a champion of it forever, so I'm glad you get your time in the sun. But there's loads to go through for the show, not just Elite Dangerous. And to talk us through it, our wonderful producer has
Vai começar aí, vai lançar em maio, né?
So coming up on today's show, we have, of course, we're going to talk about the Planet Zoo consolidation yesterday. We'll also be talking about the Jurassic World Evolution 2 DLC that
Tá ao vivo no
also
canal deles aí?
in March. Then after that, I sat down with Stu from the F1 Manager 2014. If you missed it, you'll see it later on, obviously. We had the trailer went live about announcing its return. We'll be coming back this year with a much requested feature, and we chat a bit about that creator team mode in a brief VOD during the show. And then after that, of course, we are talking to the wonderful Luke from the ELiTE Dangerous team to talk about Power Play 2.0. And Luke very kindly stepped in first in this morning.
Cadê que é aqui, Fórmula 1?
A Mr. Simon Brewer of Brewer.
Mas não pode mudar, cara, não pode mudar. Fórmula 1 Manager 2024, Create Team ELiTE, Dangerous. Dangerous, o negócio é perigoso aqui, hein? Tá perigoso duas vezes, cara.
The love
and more.
Frontier.
Isso aqui é só tirar depois.
My chat
Tira depois.
Chat, so
é que tá ao vivo, não tem como tirar aqui não.
Tem
como mudar. Aí começou.
Thank you
Vou
so
comer,
much. So,
okay.
not only do we have all those things to talk about, we actually, of course, we wouldn't be a Frontier Unlocked without a big swag to give away. So,
Vê o careca falando aí.
Show, of course, we have got a fantastic Xbox Design Lab Elite controller in the Planet Zoo colours. So if you do want to win that, stay tuned and find out. It's all part of a big package. Of course, you can buy it. It's available for purchase in the Design Lab store. We also have
meu feijão tinha que cozinhar a máscara.
You may have seen some of these on socials. I think Adam you actually have an image to show what's inside this. I was going to open this box up. But it is
Xbox, mano, tá sonhando, esquece isso. Você vai falir, cara.
Well, get told off. But in this, you get one of those big old cups that are very trendy. You get some cozy slippers and you get a nice rug. Now, you know, it's my opinion, but you know, the Planet Series is some of the most cozy games you're ever going to play. So what better way to play it than a pair of cozy slippers with a nice hot drink, with your feet tucked under or on your
Planet Zoo.
So that's in there. You also have this incredible mechanical keyboard. With the
teclado
também. Manager colors. Not only those left,
teclado ele é bonito. Teclado é bonito.
The announcement of F1 Manager.
Ele é bem bonito esse teclado aí.
And then we actually have a goodie bag down there filled with bits of water bottles. There's a vinyl. We've got a copy of Realms of Ruin for the platform of your choice, physical edition, be it
Não, legal,
PS5
cara. Isso daí que ele tá fazendo, então. Mas assim, a melhor experiência é no volante. Não tem como, é de longe o volante.
It's signed. and we talk about who's
Falar em
seen
volante,
that
parece
be
que em
going
breve eu vou ficar
into
com o volante do
the
Maricão.
swag bag. So all this can be won for you.
Que houve, cara? O
Just
tubarão
stay
comeu
tuned
ele?
and I'll tell you how you can do
Não,
that a little
é
bit
porque ele
later
não
on
joga.
during the show. But that's
Ah,
not
ele vai te
all,
dar de presente?
chat.
Pô, que legal,
And as
cara.
always, if you are
Legal.
tuning in, we
Trabalhei
do
para
have some
ninguém.
drops live. Thank you, Adam, in
Legal,
the
cara.
background for setting those up for us. And we do have, for Elite Dangerous players, we do have the Stinger
desenho aí, ó.
drops. We have Stinger
Ele-
for the Python and
Vai ser maneiro,
the
cara. Filmar
Cobra
tu aí
Stinger.
no
If
volante,
you want to
tentando
know about
jogar.
how to
Vai ser
claim
legal.
them, it's exclamation
Colocar no
mark
canal.
drops in the chat. Neither one of those ships are the Chieftain, so therefore I don't care. I'm joking. They're all wonderful ships.
É
Of
só tu
course, I
sentar
am
no
falling a lot of
cockpit
love
ali,
for the
ó.
Python Mark
Aí
II,
toma
will
ver
be
com a câmera.
coming to the
Tá
game
gravando
very,
ali, ó.
very soon.
Vamos ver as barbeiragens, mano.
Right,
Ou
so
posso
let's
colocar
get
a
into,
câmera
I
do
guess,
próprio
let's start
PC.
talking about our first item that was on our list,
Focando
and that
também.
was
Não
the
precisa.
incredible Planet Zoo
É como se
console
fosse
edition,
num
which
evento,
launched
cara. A pessoa
yesterday,
sentada no
March
cockpit
26th,
lá, passa
for
com o telefone e
PS5
sai
and
gravando ali
Xbox
pra mostrar de
Series
boa.
S and
É bem
X.
tranquilo.
And before I talk anymore, let's watch
Vamos
the
mudando,
trailer
faz
one
na
more time to super
velocidade
happy
alta.
vibes. Enjoy.
Ó, o
Pô,
trailer.
Marquito, tu vai querer gravar igual um cara que é especialista. O canal do cara é só isso, cara. Ele gastou dinheiro pra equipar pra fazer só isso, mano. É um flamingo. Ó, bonito esse bichinho. Isso é da Fórmula 1 não, né?
O trailer.
Nossa, acho que é outra coisa, hein? É que eu não tô... É o Planet Zoo que eu te falei, tá vendo? Por isso que eu estranhei você falando de Fórmula 1 e o cara mostrando o controle junto com esse jogo aí, velho. Não tava entendendo. As funções que ele falou é pra esse jogo aí, ó.
Tem que fazer uma feia, não.
Ele tem cara de simulador, alguma coisa assim, não é não.
Bate Simulator.
De parque de diversão.
Simulador.
Parque de diversão, de
É a
zoológico.
vibe deles.
Será que é um simulador de zoológico?
É.
Cuidar dos animais, isso deve ser legal, hein? Deve ser
Essa é a
bem-
praia deles, é puros simuladores. Essa é a área da Frontier. Simuladores.
Ela faz Fórmula 1 e isso daí também?
E entre outros jogos. O Futebol Manager, acho que é dela também.
There we go. I did see in chat someone did say good vibes or happy vibes.
Play
Confirmed. It
5
really is,
Xbox.
and it's bringing a lot of joy from our development team here to see so
Muito
many of you
pouco
picking up the
tempo,
game
o Xbox já não
yesterday
vai
and
existir.
enjoying it, and already the incredible zoos that are being created. But it wasn't just obviously the game that went live
Sabe
yesterday.
o que eu
There
acho?
was the
Sabe o
first
que eu acho? O
DLCs
Xbox ele
released
vai
alongside it,
deixar
which
de
was the
existir como
North
console.
American and
Mas a
the
Microsoft
Europe
vai
bundle
tentar
went live,
continuar como
with,
publicadora de jogos.
the base game
Talvez
yesterday.
leve o
Of course, if
Game
you have the
Pass
season
junto
pass
ainda,
edition,
cara.
then
Não sei,
you'll
cara.
be picking up immediately. But also in terms
Mas
of Planet
assim, se a
Zoo
Microsoft
console news, you
mesmo
may
se
have noticed
injuriar,
that
cara,
we did
ela
have
fecha
a certain
tudo, cara.
celebrity from the
Entendeu? Ela fecha
wildlife
tudo.
world, an expert coming
Não sei
to
o que ela vai
Frontier
fazer com
Towers
as
to
empresas
assist
que
the team.
comprou,
I
né? Se
say
vai vender
assist,
para
with the
outras
creation of Planet Zoo console.
grandes
Let's have a little
empresas,
look
não sei.
at
Tem,
how
pode
that went
comprar
down,
tudo
shall
dela.
we?
É,
The
tem que
team
ver o
at
preço,
Frontier
né,
has been
cara?
working really hard
Tem que
to
ver o
bring
preço.
the ultimate zoo
Eu acho que eles vão
simulation
pagar o
from
preço que a
Planet Zoo to
Microsoft
console.
pagou. Não vai, vai pagar
Falou
menos.
o seguinte, que o time da Frontier
Steve
está
Bagshaw came
trabalhando
in fairly
muito para
early
fazer
to
esse
the
jogo
console edition development.
é,
He's obviously a
ser o
renowned
melhor
naturalist
simulador
and wildlife broadcaster,
de
so he really knows
zoológico.
his stuff.
This is way smaller
Ah,
than it
que
would
legal,
actually
cara.
be in the wild.
Que massa.
I suppose he's been helpful to make sure we haven't forgotten anything.
I can't get this across enough.
Planet
It is a
Zoo.
tall animal.
Cara, isso daqui vai vender muito. Pra criança, pra adulto.
Eu vou pegar isso aí no
There we go,
lançamento.
and you can see the whole thing on our YouTube.
Todo mundo gosta de
channel if
bicho,
you
cara.
wanna
Não tem
check
como.
it out.
Animais,
Shout
as
out to
pessoas
Steve.
adoram.
There was
Tem um outro que
loads and
deram
loads of
na
fun when he came
próxima,
into Frontier. It was lots of fun
Planet
behind the scenes,
Coaster
on camera and
Simulator.
off. A real pleasure to work with. But also in more, but that's not all. That's not all. We have some news for those of you that picked up
O evento focando no Fórmula
the
1
console
Manager.
edition of Planet
Só
Zoo.
que
We can now reveal that the
só
next
do
DLC
dele.
Olha,
bundle will be coming
não tem
to the
nada de
console,
Fórmula
and
1
it
aí
will
não,
be the
rapaz.
Aquatic
Por
and
enquanto,
the
não.
Twilight
Eles vão dar um
bundle,
prato
which is on
forte
screen
do,
now, and it's actually
do
coming
evento deles.
May the 20th.
Olha, tem pinguim, cara, que legal.
And it's a bundle edition.
Guaxinim
It includes
também.
10 animals, such as the king penguin.
Nossa, que massa,
penguin,
hein?
or
Vai
if
ser
you're
bom isso daí.
Benedict Cumberbatch, the Ping Wang.
Ótima ideia, viu? Simulador de zoológico.
370 plus scenery pieces, one new career scenario and one new timed scenario. Obviously, as I just said, this is also part of the season pass, so anyone who has a season pass will get this content already with you. So that's a lot of content.
Mas
a
é
lot
bom
of
igual
zoo
isso
stuff
daqui?
hitting console straight away. So there might be a lot of first-time zookeepers coming into the world. So if you are new to the world of creating a zoo, we have created for you a handy beginner's guide with some hints and tips about how to get started in creating your perfect zoo for all of those lovely and wonderful animals.
O jogo que lá de que eu tô te falando sobre Market Simulator
have a look at the beginner's
é
guide
feito
or
por uma única pessoa.
!guide, and that will take you through to our website and you can have a look through some of those tips. It is worth doing some major time savers there.
Tá quase terminando o jogo dele.
Going ahead. And as you may notice,
Assim, na teoria, né? Não deve ser tão difícil, né? Fazer um jogo assim, uma pessoa sozinha. É trabalhoso, entendeu? É trabalhoso. Mas não deve ser tão difícil. Eu acho que é mais tranquilo do que fazer um jogo com história, assim, muitos NPCs e tal, missões. Eu acho mais difícil.
NPC tem muito NPC no jogo dele.
Não, eu digo assim, criar missões interessantes, divertidas, né? É mais difícil. Simulador não, cara. Tu vai recriar o que já existe na vida real. Então, se tu conhecer como é que funciona, já é mais tranquilo pra fazer. Entendeu? Então tem uma diferença.
Sabe que o simulador você poderia fazer? Aqueles simuladores lá que você poderia precisou química e outra coisa. Pode fazer.
Vou te falar que se fizer um simulador de química, muita gente não vai entender não, mano. Porque uma química é um estudo muito complexo, né? Envolve muita matemática, fórmulas, então é bem difícil. É bem difícil. Eu fazia porque eu gostava, né? Sou meio doido, cara.
Teve outra que eu não estava fazendo, que é de coisa de armazém, né?
Esse é legal, esse é legal. Esse é legal, fazer um simulador disso, de conferência alfandegário, que você vai trabalhar num recinto alfandegário de barcos, onde tem trens também, verificando embarcação, desembarque, entendeu? Isso é legal. Dá pra fazer. Aí dá pra até que você criar ladrões ali no lugar, porque assim, nesses locais, cara, de madrugada tem ladrões, os piratas. É pirata mesmo, os caras vêm de barco pra querer entrar no cais, roubar navio, roubar container, entendeu? Então daria pra fazer um jogo legal.
Se é nível, você coloca uma câmera que alerta.
Não, tem câmera, exatamente. Tipo Metal Gear, vai ter câmera também. Pô, tu deu uma ideia boa, cara. Deu uma ideia boa. Vamos lançar o... Como é que é o programa lá pra fazer jogos no final do ano por inteligência? Tá aí uma ideia legal de fazer um simulador, viu? Pode ser legal isso aí, cara.
Ó, do nível 1 até o nível 7.
Eu acho que eu consigo, viu? Eu manjo disso, eu entendo.
Essa é a tua praia?
Exatamente. Área de segurança também, entendo bastante coisa.
Então você pode fazer um simulador cabuloso. Vamos lá, o trailer de que agora? De que agora?
Não, eu ia colocar até algumas coisinhas de Metal Gear ali também, cara.
Experience a brave new
Das câmeras de
frontier of
segurança.
scientific innovation
Vou incrementar
with
pouquinho.
species once only dreamt of, now
Inovação,
made
ela
a
falou ali.
reality.
Levar pra realidade.
The Ankylotocus, a hybrid of the great Diplodocus and the hardy
Esse é o terceiro jogo.
Ankylosaurus. Rivaling the largest to ever exist, its gargantuan armor plating and large club tail make this gentle giant a thundering presence in any park.
Eu parei
The
no primeiro
Stegoceratops,
filme.
a sturdy combination of
Jogos
the
no-
three-horned
não vi
Triceratops
nenhum.
and the
Esse é o
protective
terceiro
plates and spiked tail of the Stegosaurus. Despite
Você
their
gerencia
intimidating
o
and
parque.
vivid appearance, these herbivores have been
bem
observed
feito as
to be
animações
docile and highly
do
social
Dino.
creatures.
Ali
The
deitando.
Spinoraptor, the speed, agility, and intelligence of the Velociraptor, genetically improved with the power and
Bem legal,
ferocity
tem
of the
dois
Spinosaurus.
jogos.
This apex predator hunts with sheer savagery, capable of bringing down even the largest of prey. In collaboration with our
se eu não
friends
tivesse
at
que ficar fazendo
Manticore,
bastante coisa
we're
igual eu faço
delighted
aqui,
to
cara, a
bring
gente ia
you
jogar
the
esse jogo tudinho.
Spinoceratops. These shy and
Estudinho que tem
peaceful
jogo pra
herbivores
caramba, é legal
were
que não
adapted
conhece
from
ainda.
Sinoceratops to thrive in frigid temperatures
Eu gostaria de focar
and
o canal
flourish
só em live,
even in the
só jogando,
harshest
só
of
jogando.
winters. These radiant new
Isso aqui é uma
additions to
mudança
your
bem
park are
difícil.
sure to inspire awe at the wonders of science and humility at the power of discovery.
Jogo inteiro. E vamos fazer assim, uma série dele, né? Um exemplo. Steam, Play 5 e
There we go. So that's the Secret Species pack, which is now out and available on all the platforms. If you want to add the Spinosaurus or your dinosaur mix, apparently the Spinosaurus. And with the Spinoraptor. I'm terrible with dinosaur names, chat. But yeah, it's all there and some cool skins to go with. So go check it out. It's available to buy right now. As I said, March was a very, very busy month with us here at Frontier Towers, and no less so because we were really proud to announce the return of F1 Manager for 2024. So F1 Manager 2024.
Isso daí que você tá falando, eu fiz na primeira live que eu abri aqui no canal do Final Fantasy. Eu abri no meu canal e abri também no teu, ao vivo. E as notícias eu ia falando na hora ali, algumas. Tá? É que eu vou fazer, cara. Na sexta-feira, quando abrir a live da ELiTE, né? Da Play, eu vou fazer isso.
Olha, ó, o trailer anterior.
Push innovation and confront deeper challenges. Orchestrate your ascent. Steer mindsets. Design your own journey. Create a team. Create a legacy.
Vou compilar do trailer passar para poder mostrar mais para frente.
Wow, there we go. That was the brand new trailer for Formula One Manager 24. So thank you, Coach Arthur, for showing that to me. Now, I'm sure you're all very, very excited to see what's going to be in the game. And so, in order to do a bit of a deep dive into what that trailer was all about, I'm joined by the wonderful Stu Warren. Stu, thank you for joining me on the sofa. Is this your first time in the new set?
I've snuck in here before. This is the first time I've been on one of these.
You snuck in without me being present? Outrageous. Outrageous. Well, look, thank you so much for taking some time out of making the game today. And for those who don't know who you are, can you give us a brief overview? What do you do at Frontier?
Yeah, I'm Stu Warren. I'm an executive producer for 2024. I suppose my job really
Era bem legal fazer quarto gamer assim de cenário para gravar, bem legal.
To the vision of the game that our directors hold and
Teria que tirar toda a minha cama, tirar tudo desse quarto para fazer um quarto assim.
Busy man, yeah.
So, all right. So, for those of you who probably guessed already, this is pre-recorded
uma equipe e vai personalizar tudo. Os caras vão arrancar tudo que você tem no quarto aí.
Thank you for spending your lunchtime with
us
to do this segment. So, it is appreciated. So, we're going to talk about Creative Team in depth in a second. But for those of you that don't know about Formula One Manager 24, can you give us a brief overview about what players can expect?
Yeah. So, also, we'll talk about Creative Team in a moment, where you can.
Dá uma traduzida aí, Marquinhos. O que eles estão dizendo?
Não, ele está falando que vai dar uma palhinha do que vai ter.
Management in F1 Manager 2024, so greater depth.
Já estava na hora, né? Os caras não mostram nada, nem uma gameplay.
Não, o que mostrou foi o trailer anterior, que ele mostrou agora.
To really bring it to life. And yet F1 races brought to life as well.
Corridas reais,
improved behaviors.
Eles vão pegar os momentos da corrida real como fizeram no Fórmula 1 3.
First time.
It's odd that you're introducing a failure. It's a good thing, right? You wanted it, so now you're getting it.
And dynamic new cameras as well, so yeah, all that races to life.
Yeah, I'm careful to spoil too much, but I have seen the new camera and it's fantastic. So Formula One Manager is it's your one-stop. It's the dream of managing your own team, right? So from nuts and bolts all the way to the top, from managing the car, the driver, and all your factories and the bits in between, right? So, but as the trailer did show us, Creative Team is here, right? It's been requested a little bit.
It's one of the most requested features. I think that's fair to say. And and we've wanted to do it internally as well. The team are really excited and passionate about this feature. So yeah, delighted to bring it to the game this year.
Assim, para a Fórmula 1, eu olho ele muito parecido com o futebol, né? Eu não vejo que tem tantas coisas assim para inovar dentro desse jogo, entendeu? Eles inovam mais no que? Em detalhes bem pequenos ali, porque a Fórmula já é muito boa, tá ligado? Pra tá melhorando muita coisa ali dentro, não sei. Sei lá, cara, é o que eu acho, né, também.
to glory.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's when you say it's one of my points was why
vê muita diferença? Vê muita diferença, Marcos, de pro outro?
When you look at the socials, it's one of the most requested features.
Tu vê muita diferença de pro outro todo ano?
Create their own team, right? It's that legacy of creating.
Yeah, so the community obviously, but they want it. We hear that. Our players, they love the agency of F1 Manager, and being able to make impactful decisions that have a lasting impact. What more agency and impact have to creating your own team?
Yeah, no, indeed. So I guess when you look at a feature like creating, what are the goals when you sort of top level? I think it's, I can always say, just add this in, but there's always got to be like, what do you want players to achieve this, right?
Yeah, our goals of this one are to give our players creative freedom.
Departamento por departamento.
Of the creativity that can come from it today, and then obviously more to come later.
E muitas coisas mais.
We want to give them a platform to build their own stories, their own narratives. We've seen some of that in the community.
Estou falando dessas peças que você pode comprar e colocar no carro.
Backgrounds and histories of their.
And just to interrupt, this is what we're seeing on screen. Right? These are deliveries you can create, right?
These have been made with the tools by the team.
So this is what players can make.
Yes.
Right. Okay. I mean, so this is a sort of level of depth and customization we can go into. Now, full spoilers here, chat. We are not going to show you the tool. We're saving that for another unlock. I know, but
como assim, cara?
this will get. I mean,
pode turbinar o carro, porque geralmente para você conseguir melhorar o carro, você precisa vencer as corridas, né, para ganhar pontuação e tá melhorando.
Their own bespoke livery for their car. Not just their car, you'll see in a moment as well. Racing suits. Helmets.
É o que eu tô falando, então você não consegue turbinar o carro, né? Tem que ir avançando.
Se você pegar, por exemplo, o carro da Red Bull, é o conceito deles, aí dá pra você poder bater de frente. Mas não ganhar deles.
Yeah, that's it. When you start out, you'll be able to set the standard of your facilities. You'll be able to set the kind of starting performance of your car, set your budget.
Seguir o conceito, mas não vai ganhar enquanto não tiver carro bom, cara.
Build your team as well, so you can choose from real drivers. You can put maximums together in your team if you want to go all out.
Feels like it'd be a good team if you had them.
That feels like a maybe less of a challenge than maybe if you dip into F2 and F3 for your drivers and your staff, or if you want to go full fantasy, you can.
Ele tá mostrando só os modelos aqui.
There's a lot of flexibility, a lot of freedom.
Ele tá mudando algumas coisinhas na roda ali e tal.
So I was going to say, so I guess for more experienced players who maybe have sampled the previous games, this is another way to make that a bit more challenging for you if you were going to take a team, create it from the ground up, bringing in either F2, F1, or
do Fórmula 1 normal.
New
Tem
drivers.
esse modo agora no Fórmula 1.
There's so many different stories how you set up your team.
All right, so I was looking through some of the liveries that are on screen. It's not just obviously there's designs there that they can create, but also logos and sponsors and how they work and how they go into the game. Can you talk a little bit more about sort of how these work and the placement of them? Are they in fixed locations? You're going to put them in certain spots?
So you'll get to negotiate with the sponsors when you get into the game, and we've created 15 fictional sponsors. Right, you negotiate with them once you have struck a deal. Then you've got freedom to place them on your car.
It's super detailed. I mean, sort of. I think you can tell by the liveries we showed earlier on, just like how detailed you can go with this and scaling and rotation and stuff like that. I'm quite I love watching players create stuff.
Por exemplo, você pode
what gets made.
I think there's going to be some really interesting, some really cool designs that go in. You did mention though, it's not just the cars, right?
No, that's right.
It's also the race suits and the helmets. So this is also a tool that you guys have created for players to do, right?
Yeah, race suits and helmets.
Entendeu? A vantagem deles, estão em cima
daí, então não põe na and you're going to see this branding that you create. You can see that through this weekend.
Tu pode colocar até os emblemas do macacão onde você quer, ó. Ele vai mudando.
Isso não tinha no jogo anterior deles, não tinha isso.
So it's reflected in. It's not just that's super cool. And one of the things I also noticed, we were talking about this before we went live, although it's pre-recorded, but we did rehearse it. Ignore me, we did. But you can actually change livery as well, like for one-off races. So you can have like McLaren do sometimes. They come to Silverstone, they have a one-off livery.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I mean we've got so Shanghai is on the calendar this year. So if you want to create a bespoke livery for Shanghai, you can do that. You can do that mid-season for one race, and yeah, if you want to, you can create your own bespoke livery for each race of the season.
Someone will do that. I promise you, someone will do that. Someone in chat is already planning this out. They're like, I've always wanted to do this, and this is what it's going to look like, and I'm going to spend 50 hours just making all the liveries that I need for every single race. So we talked a little bit. We talked about livery, the tool you can use to create. We've talked about why we want to do it. We touched on the sponsorship deals. Can you talk a little bit more about the negotiation side of it and how that works?
So, this mechanic will be in the main mode as well. So it's a whole new sponsorship mechanic throughout the game. But with Create team, you get to use these 50 fictional sponsors, so it really ties into that creative element as well. You'll negotiate.
Você faz só negocia com o piloto, acabou.
Activities that you're
Se você ganha, é teu. Piloto, por meia temporada.
I'm conscious, I don't want to spoil too much, and I'm off screen, chat, and you can't see it. I've got people in marketing looking at me. Don't say it, don't say it. And Alex has lowered his glass at me because I'm in trouble. So we move on slightly, but yeah, it's really cool to see this new element is added into the game.
There's more to come on that for sure.
Yeah, there's more to come, and obviously we'll show you more about the actual editor itself. And then lastly, I want to sort of talk about, because you did touch on it, it's creating your team is not just about creating the, the liveries and the suits and stuff.
Criar o time não é só criar o time.
It also can set a more challenging difficulty for players. So it is about the drivers and your starting conditions. So are you excited to see how many players are you going to create your own team?
Massively, yeah. I mean, I've been through the loop many times, created a lot of teams already. But yeah, I'll save it for release to create my proper team, my dream team. I'm not sure yet if I'll go kind of all guns blazing and build the dream team. I think what I'll come in fresh, new, maybe pick from F2 and set myself a bit of a challenge to.
All right. Well, look, we've talked quite a bit about just the create a team mode, and not all about the create a team mode. You touched on some of the key pillars. There's lots of tools that we'll have and we'll go through on future unlocks, and I've got notes here. We've got how you bring your racing brand to life. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about all the other elements that we'll take deep diving into. That isn't just about the creative side of it, sort of more the management side of things, like how you're going to manage the mentality of your drivers. You mentioned the mechanical failures on the racetrack itself. There are new additions within the game, as in tracks themselves, new cameras. There's a lot of new stuff. We're just talking about creating team and not all of it here. So join us in other unlocks. Will you come back?
Actually, I'd like to see how this goes down.
All right, well, look, thank you so much for joining us. And I think in order to play us back, we should play the trailer again, Adam. So let's run it.
Do you have the courage to compete? The ambition to create a team? The confidence to carve your own path?
Isso daí que ele tá mostrando agora é aquele trailer, né? Nossa, que é outro.
Não é outro. Deeper challenges.
Não mesmo, não mesmo.
Orchestrate your ascent. Steer mindset. Design your own journey. Create a team. Create a legacy.
There we go. So that was the incredibly shy and humble Stu Warren. What a wonderful man that is, for joined us over his lunch to talk about F1 Manager 24 and the creator team feature. It really is that slick, chat. It was obviously, you saw in a lot of these things, we're kind of behind the scenes, a lot of work in progress stuff and not final, but even at this stage, those liveries look incredible. We have sort of teased you a little bit there because we're not showing you the tools we're using to create them. That's being kept for a separate sort of deeper dive later on, but trust me, they're really, really cool. I had a lot of fun watching Adam create some of that stuff, and he was doing it really quickly, and it looks really, really slick. So thanks again, Stu, for taking your time over lunch to come and talk to us. Really, 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 really happy to see the reactions to the people in chat about the creative team mode. And there's more, and I'll be back on the next unlock to talk more about F1 Manager 24 coming later this year. But that's not all. If you want to get involved in creating your team and creating a legacy, you can do that right now. You can create your own team sort of news pieces, because teams need PR, right? So if you're going to create a team, you can go over to the website and start this happening now. Your own headline generator, headline, and you can go into this. You can pop in your name, and it'll start generating sort of news articles which you can share on your socials. And this has been put together by our team. So it's quite fun. So this is here that Arthur told me. Is on the search for new key team members ahead of the 2024 season. So you can start that now.
Aí eles estão mostrando o que nessa parte aí?
É a página web deles, que você pode já criar o seu time por aí já.
Tu pode criar já o time pro dia do lançamento? Mas tá tão longe ainda, rapaz.
Mas já no site deles já criaram, sabe? Você já pode adiantar isso.
Não, legal. É parecido com o que a Capcom fez no Dragon's Dogma, liberou antes pra gente customizar as coisas ali e tal.
Exciting. What else is exciting? Free stuff. All this stuff, we got to give it away, right? So, as I said to you before, I'm now going to tell you how to enter this giveaway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a keyword to type into the chat, and it will pick, and our chat maestro, it's a bot, okay, I'm not going to lie. We'll pick one winner randomly shortly. This is a Frontier Twitch channel only competition, so I'm really sorry, YouTube. Actually, it's not us, it's them. I can't do anything on YouTube. I'm really sorry, it doesn't have the functionality, but it is on Twitch. So if you're on Twitch and watching this,
para todo mundo, né?
Geographical conditions or restrictions do apply. So please check our terms and conditions for details at frontier.co.uk/elite. This information will also be posted in the chat. If you are the lucky winner, please look out for a Twitch direct message from the official Frontier account, and then you'll be able to get your goodies out to you as soon as possible. Right. Now this word, nearly said it, chat. In order to win, the word that you need to add into chat, all one word and all lowercase, is !race car. !race car, and then the bot will pick a winner at random, and you'll get all of this wonderful swag on its way to you. The press kit, the controller, the sign cap from Steve Backshot, the F1 manager, keyboard, and a goodie bag down there will be on its way to you as soon as possible. !race car to be in with a chance to win it. Right, back to, I think it's the last segment of the show. And we are going to be talking about, I know, chat, I know, it's Elite Dangerous time. Listen, I'm wearing my Elite, it's always close to my heart, is Elite. I probably knocked the microphone and Adam's shaking his head then. Don't do that, it's a rookie mistake. Sorry, get excited. Okay, we're going to have a little look at PowerPlay 2.0. I do mention it in the chat, and I have said it at the start. We were going to have a bit of a longer conversation with the wonderful Simon Brewer, but unfortunately he was ill. So this is a little bit lighter, but we still got stuff to show you, chat, about PowerPlay 2.0. And the wonderful Luke Betterton stepped in last minute, very early morning. This morning, I hadn't had time to do my hair, and we sat down and had a chat about PowerPlay 2.0 coming later.
Eles mostram bem pouquinho, né, do
jogo. Some cool stuff to have a look at.
Tô mostrando bem pouquinho, cara.
Hello, Luke. Welcome to the show. Now, Luke, correct me if I'm wrong here. I believe in the years that we've been working together, this is the first time we've probably done an interview together, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, which is weird, right?
It's very weird. We've been working with Elite since I've been here.
We're in meetings at least once a week.
Yes, and we've never done this. So this is weird. Anyways, Luke, thank you so much for coming onto the show. We're going to be talking about PowerPlay. Now, full disclaimer for chat, we were going to have the very, very wonderful Simon Brewer, famous for Brewer Court, was going to come on, but he's not been very well. So you're going to stand in for Simon, do your very best. But if in the chat we can have some 07s for Simon, we will get him on and we will talk about some of the PowerPlay stuff he's been working on. But don't despair, because Luke, you're a genius, right? So you're going to talk to us on the PowerPlay.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay, yeah. All right. But so PowerPlay,
Não, o dele tá vazio, cara. Não tem nada ali.
General light touch overview for today's show. We have got some stuff to show you, by the way, chat. But for those that don't know, can you give us an idea of what PowerPlay is, Luke?
So, well, yeah, I guess we're kind of talking in like two parts, right? Currently, PowerPlay is essentially this sort of, big, sort of high-level political competition between multiple different major powers, as they're called. Obviously, it's PowerPlay. So these different powers try and own various different bits of territory because that creates, that's beneficial for their political impetus, whatever it is that they're trying to do. They all have their own characters, they all have their own political leanings. So that's essentially the version of Power Play that we're continuing. The way that it's implemented in the game at the moment is, should be familiar to quite a lot of people, but it's essentially, lots of different actual combats over territory. You've got non-combat activities like trade and various other bits and pieces as well. And the Power Play refresh that we're doing is essentially that, but like super polished and way more engaging.
So it's basically players get a chance to pledge their power, right? They do activities to expand that power's influence over the galaxy, and they get rewarded for it in a nutshell. But what we're doing for Power Play Point, say we, still royal we, Luke, this is what you guys are doing.
Royal we. You're helping.
I'm doing my little bit. But what we're trying to do now is make this a little bit more accessible, way more polished for players, and allow them to sort of, I think the cool thing about what you're doing now is the visual representation of the player's influence on power and its influence, therefore, on a system, right?
Seria começo,
exactly
né?
That. So like you've got
começo muito bom, eu diria.
In the existing system, like it's very it's high level. There's a lot of menus. You generally
Tá na hora, cara, esses caras colocar acessibilidade em todos os jogos.
Power Play when you look at Power Play, but we don't feel like it's doing a good job of connecting to the universe. Whereas what should be happening is these powers are coming in and essentially just like imposing their own sort of influence on the various different locations that they are then taking control over, or competing for control over. And even like in locations where they're not in control, like obviously that should look and feel different. And that's kind of one of the main things we want to get Power Play is that as you move around the galaxy, you can see Power Play happening. And that means that as you do stuff in Power Play, you can make that happen yourself, and you can direct those changes, or and thousands of other people can do it.
Yes, and that's the cool thing. I mean, one of the things we're going to show now, so I think if our wonderful producer Adam can start rolling some of the footage, we're going to have a look at sort of the different states we can find systems in for Power Play, right? And we're going to look at an Imperial station or stations in various different states. Then we're going to talk about the states as a light touch. As we're looking at it now, we're looking at the footage going through the three different states. So we've got exploited, fortified, and stronghold, and we'll see these ticking through. But what you'll notice here, and I guess it's probably best, and this is where we were going to have the wonderful Simon, because he's done a lot of work here and a lot.
You do a fantastic job of explaining what's going on here. So I guess we'll like talking about exploited, right? Exploited is, some of these terms will be familiar to people who've played Power Play before, but in this instance, essentially, a power has come in and said, like, we're here, we're doing stuff, right? We are going to, we're going to apply our influence here, and we don't really care too much about what you guys have already decided to do politically speaking, but we're going to impose our kind of influence over the top of that. So that means that you'll see things like, the locals won't be too happy about this potentially, because it's a very early stage of their integration. So you'll see like graffiti, like I hate this person or whatever it is. You'll see, some light branding, like some of the banners will change very quickly, because that's the thing that the power can do very easily and very quickly. And then as things get a little bit more, as you progress from exploited and you start to increase the power's influence over the system, you show the locals that this is a good thing for you guys, actually. Like, you should enjoy this. You're into, like, this is a great thing for your economy.
You will enjoy this.
Well, yeah, some of the powers are a little bit more like that, which is...
Não é fabricar, não. Dentro do jogo, isso aí.
Gentle touch, yeah.
Isso é o visual? Isso é o visual do novo já?
Experiences for you guys, his improved quality of life. Like, there's a
lot
of different character to each of the powers, and that kind of comes across in how you play. But it also comes across
isso aqui andando não, parece outro jogo isso aqui, tá? Parece um jogo meio cyberpunk, dá pra ver que esses caras aqui são androids, né? Alguma coisa assim. E parece que não é o Fórmula 1 não, tá? Parece que é outro jogo isso aí. Posso estar enganado.
Não
falou? Tu não viu? É que eu não tô escutando aqui, tô escutando só o que você fala pra mim, entendeu?
And that's represented in the game as well. So you can see at the top.
Eu tô fazendo a thumbnail aqui.
At the screen, as everyone can see.
Vou dar uma olhadinha aqui de vez em quando, igual agora.
Like the physical banners at the top with Ashling's with her logo on it. You can see like the big banners on the side as well. Obviously, you've got the electronic kind of holographic banners. You'll see adverts integrated as well.
Tá me parecendo que é outro jogo, tá?
Will start to change as well. They'll get a little bit more Empire themed if it's an Empire.
This is the thing as well. This is kind of like I feel bad for not having Simon on. I'm glad you're here, by the way, Luke. I'm not saying it's an horrible way.
Yeah, no, I like Simon to be here as well. It'd be great.
But I mean, it's stuff down to the contents of the vending machines. Is the detail you'll notice. This will change depending on sort of where these systems are sitting.
Like I can picture Simon's face now as he's talking about this stuff, getting super hyped about all of this, and just being like, oh, I want to point out all of the cool stuff, and I'm not. I feel like I'm going to do a disservice to this.
No, you're not. You're doing a great job.
So let's talk about Stronghold briefly whilst that's still running. So the Stronghold stuff, like obviously you got all those physical assets, you've got all of this stuff layered on, but now you're starting to see the full like impact of this power. Like as a Stronghold state, like that is the top level of influence that a power can hold, and essentially everyone in the system is now convinced that it's pretty good to have this power here, and we're very supportive of that, and that comes across in all the physical locations as well. Yeah. So you can start to see, you've got like there's a lot more physical branding. You've got like the stamps on the floor. You've got all the vending machines are probably like very firmly kind of Empire themed with occasional like normal stuff mixed in.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we've got. I mean, that's basically. Yeah. So we talked about the 3 states, and there is another state which is contested. We'll save that for another show.
Yeah, contested is a fun one. Like obviously we're talking currently about like what happens when you've like actually gotten a hold of a system, but the really interesting stuff, which is I do want to talk about it, and I also kind of don't want to talk about it because I want to do it properly, but that's the fun stuff. That's where you've pushed a power like down to the point where they're almost holding on to this, and then you can get it into that tipping stage.
Yeah. So players can undermine this. So if you're all pledged to one power and other players are pledged to another, obviously we all want to expand. Space is big, but obviously we all bump into each other at some point, and then there'll be a bit of a to-do, I think is the posh way of putting it. All right, so we've had a look at some of the visual changes. We'll have a look there. The other thing I think we'll touch on really, really briefly, because it's still, and again, chat, just to use
tem muitos anos no mercado, FROMTiER.
Please bear in mind that this is all very, very much work in progress footage. But we do want to kind of touch on very lightly the galaxy map. We've got a tiny bit of footage to show you here where you're going to make it a little bit clearer to work out just where powers are and how they're interacting with each other. And this is sort of all the way throughout what I think power play, the refresh is going to be.
Fórmula 1 eles vão fazer no 23, no 22.
This is
tá, eles não pegaram desde o começo a Fórmula 1, né?
Eles tinham feito antes, né? Mas o Play 2, Play 1, coisa assim.
There's a lot of stuff that I think people are going to be picking over with this, because if you know how Power Play 1 works, then the refresh, what we're kind of internally calling Power Play 2.
Não dá pra entender nada ainda, cara.
Like this stuff that's revealed by this galaxy map stuff.
Tá dizendo ali que tá em progresso ainda, estão trabalhando.
You can definitely visually see the territory, and also it means that if we were to zoom in, you get a lot more detail about
work in progress.
What state it's in, that sort of stuff.
Trabalhando.
Still a little bit of a work in progress. There's some stuff we still want to do here, but
and none of
the
to be clear, again, none of this is final. And again, thank you so much to the teams. I know you're busy, and we were just coming in, just grabbing stuff. We're going to show this, we're going to show that. So we're not going to zoom in, but I think what we're trying to get across here, and the thing about Power Play 2.0 is what you guys have done, and what I've seen is it's a lot easier for players to take a look at the galaxy map, find a power, and then find a way to make meaningful change and see and track their effort, right? Which is another thing which we
tá parecendo alguma coisa assim, meio espacial, né? Dá pra ver que é no espaço daqui. Mas não dá pra saber o que é ainda isso.
And the visual changes that has. I think it's a far more it's a far more reflective system now in terms of player effort to reward.
That's a really big thing as well. I don't want to like undersell this. I think it's really important that we like one of the main things that we're aware of especially in Power Play is you don't know what's happening elsewhere. Like you don't know what other players are doing. We want to change that. We want to really make that visible, so you know if people are pushing back against you, even if they log on at a completely different time to you. You can tell. You can log on and go, "Oh my God, someone's pushing against us really hard here." We want to push that back the other way, and you can see that, and you can feel the impact of
Eles querem que esse joguinho aí se torne viral, espacial.
So if something's moving,
mostrou nada, cara, ainda. Eu olhei e não entendi nada.
It's 100 players doing it. You could probably tell that it's thousands and thousands of players doing it. Like, it's that level of weight and the fact that it's coming from another person is...
Tá, legal, mas tem que falar o que a gente vai fazer nesse jogo aí, por que vai querer ficar preso nele, o que tem de interessante pra fazer. Essas coisas tem que falar, cara. Não adianta nada o cara falar, é viral, não sei o que, a gente não entender nada, tem que fazer ali. Tem que entender o jogador, né? O player tem que entender. Às vezes faz muito mistério. Eu pergunto pra você, como é que vai fazer nesse jogamento? Como é que a gente joga? Tem alguma dica já? Adiantou alguma coisa? Mata a pessoa no espaço, é isso? No espaço, cara. Entendi.
Isso que eu faria no jogo.
Entendi.
But let other people be the thing that you're pushing against.
É muito segredo, cara.
Just to have a great time with it.
It's the dream. I think we're close. I think what you guys are doing is really, really cool. And I think this is going to be really well received when players get their teeth into it. And we will do more on this at a later date to go into this, because it is simple in terms of like understanding it, but the mechanics can be complicated.
Esse lance de batalha no espaço, até o Starfield tentou e não conseguiu, né? Ser um GTA no espaço.
We talked about the stronghold state. You can get something else in a stronghold state, which is the stronghold carriers, right? I think we've got some credit to this.
Oh no, we've revealed it.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah. So again, taking that thing of like we just want to make sure that this the way that power play operates, it's
apareceu umas navinhas ali e tal. E aí, vai fazer o que com esses brinquedos aí agora? Vamos ver.
These are the stronghold carriers. Like we're talking about them from the perspective of a carrier, so there's obviously a carrier in here, but like they are supported by a lot of other infrastructure.
Não, eu quero saber da diversão ali, cara. Quero ver como é que vai ser isso. Quero olhar e falar assim, poxa, que legal, que não sei o quê. É isso que eu quero ver. Por enquanto, eu não tô vendo nada. Tô vendo só... por enquanto, não tô vendo nada aqui. Só o espaço vazio, o planeta e as naves aqui paradas. Com a câmera girando em volta. É o que a gente tem aqui. Graficamente, tá legal. Mas e aí? Evolui isso aí, cara. Mostra umas coisas, cara.
They will welcome you with open arms. If you are not pledged to that power, there's stuff you can do here. That you can mess with the stronghold, and that's like brand new, super fun. Let's talk about that in more detail at some point.
We'll keep that for another show.
É
But I
muito
just wanted to say,
divertido
like, again,
isso aqui.
this is effective in. I mean, we laugh about this, I think, behind closed doors, but ELiTE is so big, but obviously reflecting these changes
Olha lá, repetindo as mesmas cenas.
Is quite difficult, but this is a
e em looping, já dá pra ver que ele não vai mostrar mais nada, que tá repetindo a cena. Cortou, não falei, ó. Tava repetindo já.
There's a stronghold carry here. This is a sort of a major.
É um jogo viral e muito divertido, não é?
And this is just some of the things you guys have been doing.
Confie e faz a pré-venda já.
Yeah, there's a load more like little bits and pieces that we are rapidly glossing over, but some of that stuff will be stuff we'll probably end up not even being able to figure out how to show you, and you'll just bump into it in game. Some of the stuff is really cool though, and we really want to show you this stuff.
And again, this is we've got a few months yet before we get to summer, and obviously the schedule release for PowerPlay 2.0 or PowerPlay Refresh, whatever you want to call it. But it's really cool. I'm really excited.
Tem um jogo espacial aí que a gente não viu nada, que ele disse que vai ser viral e divertido, né? Vamos ver qual é que é.
You're so busy at the moment, and obviously we're calling you in from over the water. So it's been lovely to have you come in and discuss PowerPlay. Have you enjoyed our first little? It's weird being me.
Our first little thing, yeah.
All right.
It's good. I'm really looking forward to showing off a bit more of PowerPlay as well. Hopefully we'll get Simon on at some point. He can talk in a bit more detail about some of the visual stuff. But there's plenty more to talk about.
There's loads to talk about, and we'll go through it. But as much as it's been weird interviewing you, as someone who is in meetings with me every day, it's been great having you on, Luke. And thank you very, very, very much. And I'm sure, I'll see you in about an hour's time in a meeting. But for the rest of everybody else, I'll see you in a couple of months' time, Luke. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Awesome. Thanks. Bye-bye.
There we go. So thank you so much again, the wonderful Luke, for that brief overview. And again, thank you for stepping in literally last minute this morning because poor Simon was not very well and couldn't do the show. So chat, I hope you enjoyed a very, very brief look at PowerPlay 2.0 and some of the features that are coming in there. I'll be reading the chat and understand that people want to understand more about the mechanics, and it's notes I'll take away and help we will go through on another show. We'll talk about the different states and how they affect how power can expand and how the different radius is based on those system states, be they, contested, exploited, fortified or stronghold states, and how powers use those then to take on or to progress into other systems and push forwards, and how players can undermine the activities they can do. We'll get a look at those carrier groups and and what you can do later on to see how what sort of gameplay you'll be experiencing around those as part of PowerPlay. And we'll have a closer look at some point as well at some of the UI changes. So we can get a better understanding of all players, and certainly those involved in power play. We'll be able to look at that galaxy map, zoom in, and as Luke said, take a good look about what they're doing and how it's affecting pushing their power one way or another. And again, we'll go into details about how, you know, certain activities and how much percentage carries over if we meet a threshold and all that good stuff. It's a lot to go through, chat. It's a lot for me to process, but I'm reading the chat, I understand it, but I hope you can see where we're going. We're going to make it much clearer, much more accessible for players. We want to see you start creating these narratives in the game. Really excited to see it, and we'll hopefully get some more details about the stations and some of the visual changes you'll see. So it won't just be looking at power play through a menu. You'll actually see those changes in the galaxy at large. Bit.
Eu mutei aqui já. Tá me ouvindo aí?
It's a stronghold that looks all nice and tidy, even down to all the work they're going into to customising the vending machines to reflect the power changes. And of course, I've seen people asking about the Python Mark II. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. But we're not showing any more of it on today's show. But there's enough. We've shown enough of it, right? It's out there, right? So it's coming. So don't worry about that. So thanks again, Luke. The competition is now closed. That's us for the competition today. And we do have a winner. And thank you, producer Adam has popped it in my notes on the screen on the left-hand side there. And it is Alex Rexid. Rexid? Alex Rexid. I'm going to say it's Alex Rexid. And that's it. That's your name forevermore. And you'll accept it because you've won a whole load of swag. The controller, the press kit, the keyboard, the sign cap, the swag bag, the copy of the game. That will be on its way to you. Make sure to check out for that official DM from Frontier Twitch. That kind of sums up our show. It's been a great show. We've had a really bumper March. I really hope you appreciate all the stuff we've gone through. All of my love to all the wonderful developers, producers, QA who've worked so hard this month to get this show going, because obviously, as you can tell, we've been very, very busy. So sorry there was so much pre-recorded, but we had to because we had no time. We were too busy launching games and making games. We are going to be back, as always, last Wednesday of the month, and it's Wednesday the 24th of April, 1800 UK time now. I'm saying UK time because I can't do the maths and work out which countries are swapped over, because we are clocked next weekend, and I just can't do it, chat.
Aqui tem áudio que eu cliquei agora para escutar. Depois eu vou escutar ele inteiro. Eu vi o comecinho. É um áudio que você mandou para mim, né?
Te mandou
sobre o Bolsonaro, algumas coisinhas ali, né? Eu vou escutar aqui já. Deixa eu acabar aqui a live.
Ela te mandou a matéria escrita.
Acabou aqui, ó.
Então, por aqui. Então, espero que tenham gostado desse
OBS 28.1.2 64-bit Propriedades Transi Interromper Transmisseo.
Por aqui. Valeu, falou, fui!